Hey, what's up with it? Bulls fans, Bulls Nation, sports fans, all that good stuff. Sports talk real loud, but not actually. Y'all roll with me for a second. So the NBA draft was last night. Bulls fans and our number one selection, we took Cody White. Kobe White. I said it wrong. Don't worry about that phone. That's house phone. House phones don't even exist no more. Uh, so we took Kobe White. You know, really was the player I kind of wanted all along. Like even, I'm not gonna say we would have turned down Zion Williamson, but Zion Williamson probably wouldn't have fit as much as you know Kobe White does. I think Zion fits with anybody, but you know, not as much as Kobe White does. He fits the need, and in my opinion, he's the best point guard prospect in the draft. In my opinion, that's just what I think. I wouldn't be comfortable taking John Morant. He averages 5 turnovers a game. Leads me to believe he's probably going to average, a lot of turnovers in the NBA because it's better defenders than D2. Not only that, it's bigger defenders. It's more space, yeah, but if you're not a shooter, we basically drafting Derrick Rose again. Only that's not Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose is a freshman. This is a sophomore. Derrick Rose went to Memphis and played for a national title or was contending for a national title. And John Morant got a triple double in the first round against a Marquette team that underestimated them. Um, if they play Marquette 3 more times, I really feel like Marquette will probably win at least 2 out of them 3 games. Uh, that's probably just the nature of that. But I wasn't high on John Morant. I wasn't high on Darius Garland. I'm really low on Darius Garland. I feel like John Morant can be Damian Lillard or that type of guy, possibly if he works like Damian Lillard or those type of guys. But with Darius Garland, it was like, bro, that's a guy that can't really play defense. He doesn't give you much in terms of size. He's not a passer. So you're drafting a 6'2" shooter. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, nah, nah, no, please don't do that. So to see Cleveland go ahead and make that bonehead decision to add him to their roster with their other point guard they drafted last year, I'm happy to see that happen. That was great because it left the door open for us to draft. I mean, I really thought Phoenix was probably still in line to take Kobe White, but a lot of people weren't as high on Kobe White as I was, and some other people were, and some other people are. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, as high as the Bulls are. 6'5". Now he doesn't have a lot of like arm length. He's not a long guy, but he's 6'5" at point guard, so that should be enough. He's fast. He can shoot. The two things that mattered to me was that he was big. He could play defense on guards in the league, and that he could shoot, and that he wasn't a ball dominant player. Um, that's one of the biggest things I like about Kobe White. Like everybody keeps saying he can play off the ball. He's not a ball dominant player. The ball don't stick with him. When he was at North Carolina, he's a freshman playing with a bunch of upperclassmen. You know what I'm saying? Cam Johnson's 22. You know what I'm saying? He's playing with grown men. You know what I'm saying? Zach LaVine's 23. So he showed you he can lead those guys at least on the court. He's gonna improve, man. Like even as a point guard, like these players gotta improve. It don't matter if you're the best point guard or the worst point guard coming out. You gotta up your game. Otherwise, you're stagnant and you're not good enough for the NBA already. So, like the thoughts that he needs to improve his dribble. I mean, well, you've seen Steph Curry improve his dribble, so we know if he works at it, that's easy. Um, Other than that, I mean, I don't see a lot of turnovers come from him needing to improve his dribble, and maybe his playmaking skills as well. But to me, not really. I feel like Kobe White pushes the ball, so he's enough playmaker. We got Zach LaVine. We got even Otto Porter tries to distribute the ball sometimes. Hutchinson comes off the bench and he doesn't want to shoot as much as he wants to pass it. Valentine, if they keeping him, I don't think they're keeping him, but if they are, he adds nice little depth. You might as well keep him. I don't know. I think they got like 6 shooting guards or something, but either way, Kobe White pushes in transition. He's good for guys like Zach LaVine who wants to, have the ball in his hand a lot. Kobe White can sit over there, spot up, and if you dare leave him, you dare try to double team Zach now, It's not Chris Dunn taking that shot. That's Coby White. He's probably gonna hit that. He shoots deep. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting deep in college. So that's the addition. And the guy was saying last night in the press conference, you know, Chris Dunn and Coby White could play together. Coby White is a scorer, man. He can go out there and just put buckets up too. So I like his mentality because it's not a ball hog's mentality, but it's a aggressive mentality, which is kind of what Chris Dunn lacks. Um, at certain times, Chris Dunn kind of lacks that aggression that just I'm gonna go get a bucket just to be going to get a bucket. Um, he's kind of a save the day type of scorer. Unless, of course, you put him at shooting guard, everybody changes their mentality depending on what position they're playing. So I figure, you put those guys out there on the court together, let them mesh. He's really just another addition to the team. Big thing is a lot of people feel like, oh, they're moving on from Chris Dunn now. I mean, I don't look at it like that. Either way it go, we needed a backup point guard. We needed a solid point guard other than just Chris Dunn. He doesn't play 48 minutes a game. So, you need another point guard that can come in and play and not be Ryan Archie Dianaka. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are good. I'm sorry, they're not good. Those guys are decent, but I mean, they're not NBA caliber players like talking about. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the athleticism. Ryan doesn't have the shot that you need. Coby White's shooting better than Ryan probably already. Um, faster, bigger, stronger, can check more modern guards because modern guards are getting bigger. You look at Lonzo Ball, you look at plenty of them, John Wall. These guys are 6'3" and better, so you need to be 6'3" and better. Um, Now they also picked up Daniel Gafford or somebody like that, but I want to stay on the point guard thing. Chris Dunn. Listen, I feel like Chris Dunn can be a Jamal Crawford with defense. You know what I mean? Maybe even better. Uh, he's probably gonna serve better off the bench, but we'll see. Like they say, they're gonna compete. I feel like he served better off the bench, maybe after half a year or a year or so of Coby White getting used to what he's gonna be doing, and not coming off the bench in like a limited role. Like people look at like he's not starting like it's a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. I feel like he could be a six man of the year, perennial six man of the year, you know, candidate every year. If Chris Dunn is coming off the bench and really just leading that second unit, and putting up numbers, he probably won't put up the numbers to get six man of the year. But if he can give us 10 and, seven, with some steals and some, defense on the bench, you need that, bro. You need that in today's league. Like you got to have more than just your starting five. You need probably about 7 to 8 players that can legitimately spell each other and rotate in and out, and stay competitive. Because a lot of benches in the league, once the stars go out, the team goes out. You know what I mean? The whole game plan goes out. Everything is out. Um, and we got a chance to be a little bit better than that, but we can see. I won't make no predictions this year because last year was horrible. It was awful. I think it was the worst since 2001 and 2002. So, injuries played a huge part in that. Tanking played another part of it. But I think injuries started it out. I think we were tanking basically based off of how bad our season started. So I'm not really tripping. And how good Zion got, I guess, that kind of played a part in it too. But yeah, this year no predictions, but I think we're in a better position just because it's not Chris Dunn and then Ryan Archie behind him. You know what I'm saying? It's not Zach LaVine and then hurt Denzel Valentine or whoever behind him. It's at least players who we know gonna be available. At least they're available right now. So I ain't look completely at the roster, but I gotta see who all still on it. I think Wayne Seldom's probably coming back. We got starting lineup is Coby White, Zach LaVine. Well, it's Coby White if Coby White beats out Chris Dunn, which I think he will based off shooting, not based off of anything really else other than he can hit shots and we need to spread the floor. We need to space the floor. Um, so Coby White, Zach LaVine, Otto Porter Jr., who's a pretty good addition. He's a pretty good addition, and he really hadn't had a lot of time to gel with the guys, so it might get better. Laurie Markkinen, and then uh, Wendell Carter Jr. So it's a pretty solid lineup. One is gonna compete I feel like. Then on the bench you got, if Chris Dunn is Chris Dunn, you got, I don't know if Valentine's still there or not, but Wayne Seldom, if he's not there. You got Hutchison, Daniel Gafford, who they just drafted, is probably gonna play 4 and 5 just on the backup, you know, as a backup. And I gotta check the roster to see exactly who else is squad. You know what I'm saying? Who else is squad around that thing? So let me just check it out for a second, right quick, y'all. Hold up for a second. But I mean, either way though, it's a pretty decent roster. You know what I'm saying? With Chris Dunn, if he's ended up on the bench, either one of those guys on the bench, that gives us a big boost because our bench was kind of a weak link last year. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was a really weak link. As soon as they came in, things got bad because those guys' bench was usually way better. See, we still got Raleigh Hawkins on the roster. He's kind of like two-way contract probably. Ryan's on the roster. He's on the contract. Blake Show still there. So it's some guys there, man. I don't know how these guys are going. I'm pretty sure most of these guys are going to be leaving. But I was really just trying to see if Denzel Valentine was still under contract. I know most Bulls fans hate Denzel Valentine for the most part, but Wayne Selden and Denzel Valentine, both of those guys look like they're there for right now. And I'm trying to see if we just got Felicio. Felicio's still there, so he's one of the backup big guys. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's looking a little bit, at least there's a little more depth, and you really just got to see what Coby White brings. If it is all that we hope for, because I mean, in my opinion, they say it's a 3-player draft. I don't think so. I think there's at least 10 players in that first round that could possibly, and Bobo, if he's healthy, bro, he could play. I think the guy could play. I don't know if he's gonna be great or good, but I think he could play. Um, the way the NBA is changing, it's funny that like so many people worry about his weight, but nobody wants to take an old school center. Like old school centers would need that weight. You know what I'm saying? A small guy really wouldn't. A new school center, in my opinion, doesn't need the weight. He needs the athleticism, which Bobo doesn't have a lot of, but he does have the length. And if you could shoot like he could shoot, and you're gonna be a rim protector, even just a rim protector and not a big man checker, like that's value, bro. That's a lot of value, and there's no telling how good he could be at this young age. I don't know. It wouldn't have took me to the 44th pick to pick him. But we'll see how that works out. And Nasir Little was a steal too in the draft. I'm not really gonna talk about the whole draft because it was good for some people, really bad for some other people. The clear people, Charlotte, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Phoenix was kind of like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? The people say the Wizards had a bad draft. I think the Wizards had a pretty decent draft. Schofield could be a contributor early, as well as Hachimura. Hachimura could end up being a star. You know what I mean? Like early in the season, they had him up there with those other guys. So we'll have to see. He's got the body and the build to be a really good player. With John Wall, you never know. I mean, well, with Bradley Beal and John Wall, you never know if those guys can help him develop the rest of his game. He might turn into a Blake Griffin with a little more quickness or something like that. We'll see. Like saying Kawhi Leonard, I don't see that. But the winners, the Hawks, New Orleans, of course, they got Zion, and they got a couple pieces. I feel like the trade could have been better, but they got what they needed. They got power forward, center, replaces Anthony Davis, so to speak. Um, you know, plus the LA trade. They got a little shooter, 6'5" shooter, I guess. I'm not big on them, but it's a pretty decent draft. And for the Hawks, they got DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, which a lot of people would have took either one of those guys and tried to see if you can get a big time player out of them. And with them taking both of them, you got a guy with a really high floor, and then another guy who's got a really high ceiling. You know what I mean? I'm talking like James Harden ceiling, maybe even higher. And everybody don't see that, but I look at him like Cam Reddish could be a James Harden type player. He didn't get a chance to show his game at Duke, so I don't know why you would even, I don't know why you would even crash out on him like that about playing with Zion Williamson, the number one pick, deservedly, and R.J. Barrett, the number one ball hog, but a deservingly number one pick as well, because the man averaged 20 points a game as a freshman in the ACC, like an ACC littered with tough veteran teams. So like I don't know what y'all expect from these kids, but I'm anxious to see pretty much all the people in the draft, um, all those expected top 20 people. You know what I'm saying? That's the Bobos. That's even Nasir Little. And I'm excited to see those guys and see if they develop into more than what some of those past draft classes have produced. And that's really about it, man. That's my spiel. We got Coby White. We good. I would have been happy with DeAndre Hunter, but I can see why he didn't fall. Um, Probably would have been happy with Cam Reddish, but not over Coby White based off of need. You know what I'm saying? Good draft. Good draft. We got us a big guy that can dunk a lot because that's all I seen in his, what I'm saying, the highlight videos. But yeah, we got that. And hopefully we can stay healthy, man, with a coach that I don't believe in. But if you win a championship, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can you say? If you get them to deep in the playoffs, what can you say? And if not, let's get some new GMs and some new coaches in there. And what I'm saying? We really should have kept Hoiberg, but that's another topic, another day. I'm out.